Not since the beginning of time when we were like that then. Now, after many seasons in the sun, we come back and find we are the one. Inside, we take the ride. Because, babies, that's what we do, Clyde. We just like being the ride, man. We like being the stuff. We like being the horse of plenty, babies, and sharing our love, our wealth everywhere we go, and always being on the move. Talk about being born under a wandering star, man. Just about the time you start putting down roots, babies, they go away, you know, and so do you. You're always on the go because there's always a new energy to experience, another person in line that needs some, some of Grandpa's touch, etc., etc., you know. You never know where life's going to take you. You just go with the flow, man. It's a beautiful way of being, and really, you're not wandering and restless. Though sometimes it seems that way. What you're really doing is gathering yourself back together from the heart of humanity. You've left pieces of yourself all over the place, you know, through the history of time, man. The mystery of time, too. And babies, out of that mystery you go back and intuitively collect back to yourself by equitizing energies with another person. This has been a process been going on with you for years. You go back and equitize yourself with a person that carries an energy you left behind somewhere a long, long time ago. And then it's back to you. And you're regenerating yourself. You're not dying. You're coming back to life. So in this lifetime, all of us, every human that lives, has been doing this practice, incredibly so, in a very intuitive and sometimes sub-psychological way, without knowing whatsoever, just knowing that there's some special, there's a little tingle between you two, and then it's gone, and away you go, and away they go too, you know, and you may never see each other again in this life. Yet, you've got each other forever and ever. See, when you've had love in this way, and it doesn't mean, you know, particularly intimate. It's very intimate, sometimes just talking. Sometimes just holding a hand and looking in each other's eyes and sharing. You know, reiterating the strength of the old love connection between you and sharing those loving energies that help equitize, equal out your heart. Make it full again. Amazing processes we've been involved in this lifetime. In many, many ways, in the coyote way, we trick ourselves into making connections with people who are very divine to us and have these energies that we need to commingle with. And so we've been collecting them and collecting them and collecting them all this life. And you know, the other day, after all of my meanderings, you know, there comes this time where it all just kind of fell together inside of me. It's like complete parts of a puzzle, and everything just fell into place. And now this week we've been putting the old cement on it, you know, and smoothing out the surface and making it just glow and look good, man. It's one of the most beautiful pictures ever painted. One of the greatest movies ever lived by anyone, anywhere. Yes, indeed, this Coyote Medicine show here in this life has been and is phenomenal. Guys, we've been going places that others could only dream about, and thank goodness they did dream it. Because then we stepped into that dream. We even tricked them into that. Coyotes do. We are tricky. Dang rights, man. We pull the joke on you all the time. You darn right. Part of our medicine, but it's not a mean thing. It's a kind thing. Same way we like to trick ourselves into being who we are. You know, by going through some ruggedy experience that exactly cues us up at exactly the right moment, at exactly the right time, and end exactly the right way. Amazing stuff, babies. The synchronicities here are beyond belief. Way, way beyond belief. So I don't expect you to believe them. But I expect you'll be seeing them and living them as they come through you, as you flow through your life in that little bubble of time you've assigned to yourself. See, each of us lives in this little bubble of time. That's why we think we can be isolated. And that's exactly what's going away, too. The thing that has isolated us, this little bubble of time, that allowed us to feel so separate and alone. Man, it was a righteous feeling, I got to tell you. I kind of like the alone thing now that I've had some time to live with it and really mature into it. You know, and I'm not going back to it because alone is all one, so I'm all one, okay? But the alone feelings that we used to have. Such a great way of ripening ourselves through some pretty gnarly moments, man. And really gnarly, you know. But the lonely thing was designed to help us address our insufficiency. And it's a beautiful and loving place to be when you're lonely and you're feeling completely isolated inside of your little bubble, and your heart is so crying for the touch of another, for the touch of a heart, for the gleam in an eye, the press of a lip. It really desires these things from the time we're tiny little babies. We're programmed to be love bunnies. That's our initial program before the seditious darkness used to grab us and then take us in other directions and teach us that our divinity was dirty and that we had to hide it and we had to go, off to awful places and do real crappy things with one another in order to fulfill ourselves that way anymore. Babies, it's all changed now. That paradigm, the dirtiness, the shame, that's gone away, babies. You're dealing with the remnants of it, a shadow of it inside of yourself as you complete this journey of equitizing your heart. We've shared that little bit of gold light energy right there at the center of your chest. You got it hanging in a mystical medicine bag there. And that thing is actually helping these energies that are moving through your chest become equal, equitized. And then divine harmony. See how great your life has been. See how great your life begins again. How greatly it begins again and how great you are in it. Greatness comes from dull moments, miserable existences. Greatness comes from challenging yourself as hard as you can spiritually in each and every life and bringing yourself rapidly forward in spiritual progression, heart progression in other words, as you can in every lifetime. And babies, you are champions. I've watched you again and again go through these crazy psychological dim-wit emotions and work through the dramas and the traumas and incredible recoveries from physical injuries and so forth. And, living there in a space where you felt you had no power whatsoever and still being brave enough to go with the flow, finally seeing that in your life and realizing that's what you're doing already anyway. So you may as well be conscious about it. Gosh, you guys are beautiful. Do you know how well you have done? Do you hear the universe cheering and applauding? Because it does. All the time now. And the angels are singing divine harmonies and they're over our heads. Beautifully so, I might add. Love you guys so much. And babies, it's not long before your ears lose their filtration too. And you begin to experience something of the divine. You'll start to remember your presence as the angels gently sing you back into your life. Completely. They're gifted this way. Their song is the divine harmony. And in so doing, they influence creation, bring you forward, you see. So by celebrating with us, they bring us forward. They help us complete the journey. That's why I say it's a slippery street now. We just got to slide into it. So when we're doing this equitization inside of our chest here and getting our energies cool, in harmony, don't push it. Just let it be what it is. Let it come as it will. There's no big rush, babies. We've got all the time we need, and there is no time, so it don't matter. We're through with that segment, that fragment of history we've called time. As we complete this cycle, we move back into where we are, this moment of now, completely and whole in this now moment, and all of the past and all of the present and all the future live with you in this now moment. So you can purify them in yourself, in your heart, in this now moment. Then no longer have to experience the programmed tragedy built right into you, almost the moment you're born. Not quite. Comes just a little bit after that. But for some, it comes really quick. Babies, this life has been kind of sick. It's true. But look at what we do with it now, how that sickness has become the very basis of our wellness, of our healthiness, of our wholeness. Without that anxiety, without that, suffering in bed for days, I'm going to die, please let me die, I'm tired of this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You've all felt that feeling at one time or another, But babies, that's a real way of ripening yourself. To be near death is to be near life. To be near death is to begin to experience truth. And many of us will go into these miserable near-death moments just for the sake of experiencing that once again. And once we're reinforced by that, forever unconditional love, let's say, because it is a love without condition. It's a love that don't know condition. It just is. Like that innocent baby child looking out from the manger, man, in his little 3-month-old crib, and he's just smiling and giggling and pointing and going, ooh, ah, wow, and what is that? Wow, look at that. All he sees is divine innocent love in motion. And that might be a she there, too. Whatever it is, all they see is divine innocent love in motion. That's creation, and they are creating it through us, because that is us, that divine baby. See, now you start to understand what's really happening here. How we've tricked ourselves into being the fools that we were, and how we've brought ourselves back together in the heart, just at the right time, just in the nick of time. Because things were about ready to slide over the edge and get really ugly here if we didn't. So that kind of motivated us, and here we are. I mean, humanity. When I say us, I'm talking of humanity. See, as Grandpa Coyote and she as Mother God, we emulate, we simulate, or represent, let's say, more the words. Sometimes they're fun, ain't they? So we represent, hold that light and love, the energy of all humanity. And shine and radiate it back to you in our ways of loving you through the moments in your life so that you can begin to understand. But for us, it's a reflective thing. We are you. You are us. And we are together in all that we do. And we're about to prove that to you again and again and again and again, because that's what we do here on the Coyote Medicine Show. We become the living proof of who we are. We don't have to accept anybody else's word for it, nor would we. We're far more wary than that. We know what they've done with the spoken word and the written word and the singing word and so forth. They've really tried to mislead a lot of people. But with music, as your instructor, it's really tough to do, to put in misleading things. You can lay them all over the place, but guess what? They tend not to mislead. They tend to actually have the reverse effect. Help people see that they are misled and get it back together. And these days of now, this moment of now, everything has changed. It's made that switch towards purity. All of the energies inside of you have made that switch towards purity. So this equitizing we're doing inside of our chest, this bringing forward of the energies of life inside of us in a very harmonious way, just a part of that, babies. We grow from there. This is the beginning that you've so long waited for. This is the life arising from inside of you, the life of the white buffalo, given in great purity and simple truth, and expressed and experienced through his darling brother, the baby child in the manger, seeing the creation of love everywhere it looks. Purity and appreciation, innocence. Oh, babies, what more do we need? Well, just another elemental dynamic of love, and then you complete the triangulator process, man. And we're all in it together, and we're all doing it together. So that third part is you. You got the white buffalo, you got the innocent baby, and you got you as the white buffalo and the innocent baby joined at the juncture of the universe, the heart of mankind, the heart of Mother Earth inside us. See how it works, babies? It's all so simple. It's all so sweet, too. And it's all so easy. And it makes you feel complete when you're living in it this way, don't it? Sure does me, babies. And I'm getting more and more there all the time, babies. And bring you all right along with me, man. It's been an exciting experience in this lifetime. I've had such a vast wealth of it. Man, I was so conditioned this time and so unconditioned when I finally got over it. And I am getting over it still. Of course, we all do. But babies, it's just been such a blessing to take this ride with you. Each and every one of you. I want you to know before I ever met your presence or knew who you were or anything about you, I felt you and I loved you and I brought you with me everywhere I went. And everywhere I go, I still do. We live together that way. Forever and ever and ever. So don't think we're ever going to get married or anything like that. Don't have to, baby. We're already together. We don't need to prove anything to ourselves. We're already together. Complete, whole. We do any sharing and caring with each other is because that's the right, full, wholehearted thing to do. not because of any want or need or craving that we might feel. The emptiness is being fulfilled inside as we equitize these energies. And this is going to put an end, a stop to some of the crazy wants and desires that get a little warped out, you know. Going to bring you back to a state of what we call complete harmony, where nothing can be wrong. Nothing. Just live it, be it, do it, love it, because that's who you are. Oh God, don't we ever? And this is indeed, as I've said before, there's old Okie making sure people behave when they go by our place. What a good boy. He's this little weenie dog I got. He's the cutest little guy. I love him so much. He's my little familiar and companion, you know, helping me walk my way through life gentlier than I would have without him, you know. What a sweet guy. Reminds me so much of you, like dog is God, you know what I mean? So much sweetness, so much life, so much love in the little canines I've known, you know. Oh man, it's been awesome, and they're not so little either. Their souls are giant, gallant things. That's why I call them dog is God, God is dog. I mean, it's that very same simple, basic, loving energy that we experience from those kind of animals. So pure. But it's there, what? To remind us of what's in us. So we know the dog side of ourselves, and we can start wagging our tails a little more often and licking people on the hands and stuff, you know what I mean? Get a real life. I don't know if we're going to start sniffing butts, though. I think we'll leave that for the dogs. Hey, you got Grandpa Coyote helping you take flight here in the great daylight, right here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network, with our special guest star, Mother God, who has arrived here in Crestone, Colorado, and is predicating, whose arrival has predicated what we call the event, or now calling the event, which is the gathering of all beings and energies back to humanity's heart, the opening of the gateways between the realms, the end of division between life and death. All joins, there is only life. All joins, there is only love. The star family, yes, they come from the clouds. Of course, it's part of the operation, man. They've been hiding there for a long time. I tell you, it's a parallel universe. Been here forever. We just lived apart and separate from them in our little bubbles of time. Until now, that is. That's a Woody Woodpecker laugh, in case you can't tell. You're listening, yes indeed, to Grandpa Coyote rapping away here in the great daylight, right here on the Coyote Medicine Show. Once again, only, and I mean only and exclusively, on the loving, ever-loving Hazy Radio Network. Babies, you got it right. Just keep those wings out. Just keep it flying. Because, babies, you sure been trying, and we love you for it. Rock and roll can soothe your soul. And so can marijuana in a state where it's legal, huh? I know you may not believe it, but that is actually Dan Seals, who went on over to country music many years back. The same Dan Seals that did Seals and Crofts, Summer Breeze, England Dan, and John Ford Coley, same man, you know, so he's a rockin' son of a gun, man. And here he is, you know, back in the field of country, singing about all that glitters is not gold. But gold doesn't always glitter either, babies. You know, sometimes you gotta be looking for it. Sometimes you'll just get a little flash in your eye, a little gleam, you know, and you'll know that's gold calling to you. And you look down on the ground, and there's a little tiny piece of it, a little tiny nugget, maybe, 17 grams or so. Hell, that's a good find, man. You can make some money on that. But no, that nugget's meant for you. It goes in your pocket. You never spend it. It's not money. It's a communication from the Mother Earth, an indication of your purity. So she sends you her pure gold so that you can purify yourself and all of your energies. And you just pack that thing around in your pocket or in a little medicine bag or something. And babies, your energies change as they start to harmonize, you know? Yeah. So, last night here on the Coyote Medicine Show, we've been doing some pretty awesome work. And, we unloaded a bunch of control energy from this reality. So this afternoon here, it's a beautiful Friday afternoon, by the way, here in Crestone, Colorado. We got balmy clouds and beautiful sunshine, spotty here and there. Just the slightest bit of a edge of a chill, but it's just perfectly comfortable today. You know, it's one of those beautiful, balmy summer days you wait for. You know, it makes the 9 months of winter almost worthy of you. You know what I mean? It is so gorgeous. So today you've got a little gleam of gold, you know, just in this gorgeous day, just in this gorgeous heart, this gold that is shining brightly for you today. And it ain't glittering, it's shining, you know, like the sun, baby. That's the pure gold. That's the pure essence, the light that brings forward life. So we're giving you your little precious little nugget, you know, your little 17 grams, and I want you to put it right now in your little medicine pouch, your mystical medicine pouch, and wear that at the center of your chest, hanging on a little pendant, you know, on a little chain or piece of rope or whatever you can find to make a nice little necklace out of it, and hang it right there over your center heart. And today, now you got that, and there you go. Now you're right there, got it in place. Yeah, no fancy mountings or anything. Just keep it simple. There you go. Now we're going to focus on that energy that we just placed at the center of our chest, this golden energy, and we're going to make it shine. There you go. See, you just opened your heart, and now you reach to that little nugget, and you embrace it with the energy of your love. There you go. And now it's activated fully for you. The mother is in you, and she is helping you awaken, come back to life. See, you've been asleep for a long time. You feel strangely relieved today, but very mixed. I mean, it's kind of going back and forth and back and forth. There's a lot of gnarly energies around. You know, we've been going through this shit pretty damn fast here on the Coyote Medicine Show. Excuse my language, but it's colorful, babies. Grandpa can't help it. He has to be descriptive in his words. We've been using these words as a vehicle, as a tool, since the beginning of time, babies. Basically right around in that time. And they're still as effective today as they were in the beginning of time. They help get your attention, you see. They help establish a common thread, too. Because everybody thinks in those terms, whether they speak them or not. And, you know, it's a silly thing to think that words can hurt you. Obviously, and that's another reason I do it. It's a silly thing that you can't be spiritual and say the F word all the time, too. That's a silly thing. It's just damn silly, you know? I'm just here as living proof. You can be a gnarly, ruggedy human being that goes through all kinds of crap and never seems to get their act together, yet you do. In the long haul, babies, you get it all. Every little bit of it. And here on the Coyote Medicine Show, we aim to deliver. So we've activated a nice little golden presence. At the center of your chest, your heart is open and is realigning now with that center area, so that now we bring balance and then harmony to your heart. See, we've taken out the iniquitous parts, but there is a shadow, a glimmer of the dark side remaining. Because, you know, you are who you are. You can't take yourself away from yourself. You can't even kill half yourself, much as you might think that's possible. You know, many people find the ego greatly disagreeable. You know, and I do too, of course. But at the same time, you got to understand what's left of it within you is a mere shadow of what was there. And now you're just going to fix up all the behaviors and patterns and help this energy, this part of your person, become not a shadowy figure that tries to make you go out of your mind, but a shadowy figure that starts to shine, just like this gold. A little more and a little more and a little more, and it's equitized in the heart. One side, the other side. They begin to realize there are no sides. They begin to realize there's only the center and what extends from that. And what is there at the center? What do you think? There is you. There's me too. It's ourself, our person. We are the conjunct of the universe where all loving energies come together. We're that divine presence, each and every one of us, that absorbs all of the love of the universe into itself and reflects it outward in a growing expansion of life. So this is what we're doing with our very own heart today, our heart consciousness, let's say, because it's kind of like heart surgery, but not as radical. It's something we just reach in there and gently massage the heart with this golden love, this golden light, this pure love, this white buffalo medicine, if you will, because that's very associated with the gold too. And you notice the white buffalo usually has golden eyes. I wonder why. Oh, there's so much to this life. The unraveling of the mystery is going to greatly entertain you, babies. You're just going to love it, and you're going to be it, and you're going to be it for the rest of forever. Because that's the times we live in, babies. The event that I've been promising here, we've been promising here in Creststone, is in the making. And yes, it will be the transition you're seeking. There are many here who think they're in opposition to it, who think they don't want ascension. They've got too great a deal here now, and so they just want to party their fool little fannies off and let everybody else just starve and suffer and continue in the agony and so forth. Very callous beings. Very callous, very arrogant. They think it's all about them and nobody else. Well, in a sense it is, but not in that ego sense. See, a lot of people who get highly spiritual, sometimes, and I've seen these tendencies in myself, and I work constantly to correct them, but sometimes you tend to get a little arrogant because you think you know. I mean, because you do know. You can look at a person and know everything about them. I mean, you're very intuitive, very gifted. But sometimes because of the way our heart's been manipulated and our consciousness, we can't help but think warped thoughts. And they can mislead us. They can seem very enlightened and they can mislead us. You've got to test the energy of the procedures going on inside of yourself and constantly correct and harmonize them. So that's what this little piece of gold that you got hanging there in the middle of your chest is reminding you of and doing for you. In assistance with you, I should say. Not for you, but in assistance with you. You see, there you go. Now those energies are equitizing. This is what you feel inside of your chest. Now notice how both sides of the chest are beginning to have the same warm feeling. It's equitizing. One side used to be stronger than the other and so on and so forth. This will continue through the afternoon and on through the weekend, babies, as we reharmonize, reinstitute the reality of the human heart as our living existence here in conscious presence in each and every person that lives. So as we're correcting this inside of ourselves, we're correcting it inside of all of ourselves. That is, the everybody else that's here too. See, we never work alone. We're always together with everyone, even if we're hiding in a cave in a mountain 3,000 miles from anybody else. We're still doing that. You never lose your connection with others, ever. You can miss the perception of it. You can feel as alone can be. I know that one very well. I know the coyote loneliness. But I also know the love in that loneliness. When that coyote sings to the sun in the middle of the day, he's singing out of a pure, joyful heart. Amazing stuff, babies. Amazing stuff. So let your heart begin to sing right now, as old Grandpa continues to soothe you along with a little sad, syrupy, and uplifting music today. Oh, babies. Hell of a start today, huh? But some gracious voices of angels. I'll never get over Carole King. I've always been in love with her. Now, she's probably a scraggly old lady now. You know what? I still love her. She's one of the most divine little presences in the music industry that ever there was, man. A voice and a heart so pure, so beautiful. And able to convey that through the presence of her music, and that's why it was so popular in its day and remains super popular even to this time, even into this time frame. Because, well, of course, there are those codes and tones, frequencies that are implanted in her music as well, because that's how angels work it, You wouldn't believe how heavily involved in the music industry the angels are. And we'll talk about that possibly later today or maybe next week, This will be my last show of the week here. Old Grandpa's got the weekend off after the Friday afternoon show. He's trying to treat himself a little better and, give myself some time to live, because, babies, when I'm doing this radio show all the time, I don't got much time. I just got to do it and get on with it, and get on with everything else I have to do to make it all work, and try to keep up with my Facebook and YouTube pages and so forth. I will be posting some YouTubes this weekend, just to help everybody know, remember what's going on, to reiterate some of the energies that we've shared this week, etc., etc. There will be a midnight show tonight, a repeat show, I believe, of the Coyote Medicine Show tonight at midnight, and then tomorrow night, Saturday night at midnight, there will be another repeat show And then on Sunday night, we're back with you live. Grandpa Coyote and our special guest star, Mother God, who's somehow been transplanted from one side of the universe to the other and landed right here in my lap, babies. And all of a sudden I realize what's truthfully going on here. It's the sign, it's the signal that I've been waiting for since the beginning of time. We're back together, babies. That heart is unifying even as we speak, and it's taking its time. It's a slow process, but it's so rapid. It's causing, expansive difficulties with me and her too. So we have to integrate a little bit, see? So we take the weekend and we will be integrated. Come back Sunday night, babies. You want to be here because there's going to be a lot of light and a lot of love to share, and you're going to know that everything's okay. I'm sorry if the energies have blown some of you away this week. It's just been so wild and intense. I mean, when things start happening around the old grandpa, things start happening. They get underway, and like I said, I just go full bore at it. But, I've learned to soft pedal it too. I stay steady and consistent and determined, and I just don't give up. And I go wherever I have to go and process whatever I have to process inside of myself to get myself free enough to be in whatever situation I'm being called to be. And this now, for myself personally, is a call home. The energy of her and I, Mother God and I, it just melds so well. It's a call home. It's the reunion we've all waited for. I mean, symbolically between, yes, two low-life human beings. Oh, babies, but we're so beautiful. I mean, I look at her and I see me. I look at me and I see her. It's the strangest thing. But we are like the twin gods in a sense, in a very human sense. But yet, what we do, why we can say and live that, we can hold that energy for you, and we have since the beginning of time. We were the volunteers that took that energy up. And, we've never abandoned humanity, and especially in the last, 3,000 years or so, we've got to a state where we can't die. We can seem to die, and then, they go put the body away or whatever, and guess what? It morphs right out and comes back in another one somewhere in somewhat the normal way. We've learned how to do that, how to take our eternal body and make it grow like a baby and bring it out of a mother. So we come right from the womb like everybody else, so we have that blessing. Wouldn't be right to be born without the womb, man. The womb is the mother. It's your reassurance that no matter what happens to you here as you're growing inside of her, you're totally programmed and filled with her love and light, and no matter what happens, that will always be there inside of you, and it will always be your saving grace. Mother forgives everything. She doesn't see evil. She only sees her beautiful babies having a great time, dancing around, filling themselves on the love and expressing and experiencing it in the most colorful and beautiful and creative of ways. Well, babies, you're doing the right job. So just stay with us here. We'll keep some old music playing here for a bit, and just keep these integrating energies coming, babies. Just focus on that little, golden light at the center of your chest, and let that light help assist in the harmonization of today as we take our part of the heart that's been lost, it seemed, forever and controlled and gained by another energy that no longer is there. Now we deal with the shadow effect and dissolve that away and reassure the heart that it is indeed one heart and not two. You see? So it's coming back together, right there in the center of itself as you allow this reintegration in the center of yourself. See how it works? Babies, it's the Coyote Medicine Show. And it's Coyote Medicine all the way. Only on the Hazy Radio Network, babies, with your host, Grandpa Peter Coyote, here on a beautiful Friday afternoon, along with our special guest star, Mother God, babies. Ooh. Reunion is reunion, babies. The event is coming. It's still in the works. It's still in process. And, babies, you're just going to have to wait and see, ain't you? But here it comes. Sorry to keep you in suspense. I love you dearly, babies. I do. And it might be here today, it might be here tomorrow, it might be here in a day or two, it might be 2 weeks. Just hang on, babies. It's coming. It's here, And if you're so inclined, if that compulsion has hit you greatly, jump in throw the stuff in the suitcase, jump in your motivational vehicle and get the heck out of there and come on over here and let's party down, babies. It's getting to be that time, We're going to help this town. We're going to invade this town with so much love and light. by bringing all of you guys here to participate in this event. And that's why it's kind of stalling a little bit, because I want the tribe here, babies. It's my personal choice, and mothers too. We want the tribe here, man. We want you guys here in person, in this flesh. It's real important to us that you are. Because what you're going to see here is going to reinvigorate you in the flesh forevermore. So, babies, come on over here. We don't have accommodations. You're going to have to camp out or just indulge in the hospitality of others. Or, there are some B&Bs and some kind of hotel kind of things here. But the facilities, you're going to find they're limited when there's retreats and stuff going on. So I got to warn you about those conditions. So bring some camping gear, because that's probably what you're going to wind up doing here. And I'll let you know that this time of year it's pretty mild. You might get rained on a bit. It does happen, and these summer thunderstorms can be a lot of fun. But babies, if you're ready for a little ruggediness, if you're ready for a little primitive camping, well, baby, you're ready for the beginning of the divine eternity that lasts forever, the eternal orgasm that actually creates life and goes on and on and on, completely based in, what do you say? Contentment. Pure, simple, bright contentment. Just like gold. And it don't glitter. It shines. The Coyote Medicine Show. Only on the Hazy Radio Network. Your ticket to flight in the great daylight as well as in the night, babies. You got that right. Babies, how about that? America, right here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network, babies. The network will get you into flight right here in the great daylight as well as late at night. Coyotes everywhere, all across this here network, babies. So you want to stay in tune, you want to find your heart, babies, here's where you get the good start. The Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network, and a whole bunch of others, which are mostly talk shows and some music shows. Babies, we got it going on here 24/7 at the Hazy Radio Network, and baby, I think it was made in heaven. So you just keep on trucking and just stay with us, babies, because we are here to help you find it and remind you that you are it. No one else, babies. Don't assign that thing to anyone else, not even in a love affair. Don't assign that thing to anyone else. You are it. You are all you ever needed to be. You are all you ever wanted to be. You are full and complete inside of yourself at this moment in time, no matter what you're feeling or how you're feeling or how your life's going, man. It'll get better with time, believe me. Right now, we're in some of the most biggest upheavals that humanity has ever experienced. The old routine, because we've already kind of entered into this 5D world, the old routines don't work. They don't match the environment anymore. I mean, I know the economy's struggling, and, everybody else is about ready to take a big old you-know-what, because, the dollar is worthless. Well, it always was. Money's worthless, man. Gold is only an energy of purity. It's not something you can buy and sell and trade with. It doesn't mean anything other than that, purity. And that's what its energy is, and that's what it's here to bring, and you get yourself a whole big thing of gold. That's why they try to hoard it all away, though. They think that if they hoard away all the gold, now, honest to goodness, this is some kind of thinking that goes on here in some people's minds, or has in the past. If they hoard all the gold and put it away somewhere, the people won't be able to access that energy, and then they'll be in command for rest of forever. And but it didn't work that way now, did it? Because we sent those guys home last night and thanked them for it too, man. They were some very hard taskmasters, boy, as difficult as they get. And so now today we're dealing with the remains of that inside of ourselves, that side of our person that was taken over, that side of our heart that was taken over. And through which we were manipulated and often controlled, and oh man, all kinds of strange behaviors arose amongst humanity because of this invasion. We were an experiment, a very scientific one, conducted by those who don't care to wear a heart, who have kind of put it away and pretend that it doesn't exist. And of course, as I explained to you, it was a baited trap. Because once these beings invaded our planet, our people, and attached themselves to us, they could not let go if we didn't want them to. So essentially, once they were here, we latched onto them, and they couldn't withdraw, And once that happened, then we just start working out all of their elements through our own person. And once we get to the point where the elements have been pretty thoroughly tested and finished up with, then we have made this heartless being into a being of the heart, because it now switches its perception right along with you as you did it. And that's why we could finally let him loose last night, because that has indeed been accomplished in the heart of humanity. So therefore the invaders were released and sent on home when the company of angels, of course, to make sure they got there. We went there and prepared a really nice universe for them, a really nice planet and all that stuff. So they're set, babies, and we won't be having that reptilian contention, that draconian unlove hanging around any longer. We just deal now with the shadows in ourselves, because we have been programmed for so long now. I mean, seriously, babies. It can't be too serious. Oh, my goodness. Here in humanity, in this paradigm, the programming has gone on for what seems like forever. Thousands and thousands of years. And that's why we study ourselves and find all these characteristics psychologically and spiritually and so forth, you know. And then we begin to realize a lot of it really isn't us. We're programmed. You know, I mean, an idiot can see it, but can't always stop it. But if you see it, you have control. If you can humble yourself enough to admit it to yourself, I mean to see it, don't force it up, to see that it's been there, and it's still going on. The uninvasion is still going on. I mean, we're still releasing them all over the place. It goes in waves, and there's an inner circle, and then a next circle, and then a next circle, so it kind of goes like that. So it'll be going on all weekend. We'll be releasing those beings from ourselves continually, and reintegrating the heart as a result of that process. So I've shared with you a little teeny speck of golden light that you can hang in a little mystical medicine bag there at the center of your chest. You know, old Grandpa does this every now and then. I'm sharing gifts here with you all the time. This is a really special one, though, because this is meant to help you equitize the heart, to bring both sides of the heart not only back into balance and harmony, but into the same frame of intelligence once again, so that it's all seen, known, lived, practiced as love, everything we do. And we're fully conscious in that presence. That's what we're working on this weekend. That's what we got going on right now. And I know you can feel the energy as your hearts open up and we unite again. Our energy shared with all of this earth, bringing a calming, healing energy to this planet as we do so. There's a lot of anxiousness, and so let's just help that calm down, man. You know, a lot of people know it's coming. A lot of people feel that it's already here. A lot of people think they should be the one and not somebody else. Well, they are the one. It's ridiculous, these old ego trips we play on ourselves, you know. Totally ridiculous. If you're the one, you're the one, and that's just as simple as that. Be that, because the one's in you. It's in everyone, too. But understand the characteristic definition of yourself, too, as a person, as a human being, you see. Yeah, very colorful, very bright, very active in life, very, very hungry for feeling and for deeper and deeper and higher emotion. That's the land of our experience now. This is where we're going next week, is into the land of emotion, babies. The deep ones, the powerful ones, the ones that we put away so long ago when we decided to play in a different field for a while and only experience the more shallower feelings, you know. That's part of that scientific experiment I told you about that the invasion was all about. You know, kind of just shut off most of the heart circuits, at least on that one side, for a good long while now. And that's why it's kind of itchy and, you know, glitchy and kind of coming back to life today. See, so you got the gift of life, really, with this little bit of gold we've shared with you. You got the gift of life. You got the gift of love. To know love is life is love, etc. But to live it. I mean, it's one thing to know something intellectually, but that's just like stuffing stuff in your, you know, in your computer, man. It goes into a file in a folder, and if you remember how, you can access it any time. But that's computer technology. That's not reality. Reality is what you live. You can talk understanding things, you can, you know, think you understand everything, and yet be so totally in the dark because the mind is holding it, not the heart. It might be the exact same thing, might be the exact same words and everything that you've used, and it does display a truth, so it has an element of energy all its own, of course. But because you've accepted this superficially in the old ways, the old paradigms ways, with artificial feelings, as I call them. I mean, they're wild enough, they're deep enough, but they're kind of synthetic. We kind of manufacture them because we're really not capable of true emotion. So this is what we're going to be doing. Like I say, next week, babies, we're going to bring up the emotion, the real emotion. We're going to show you the richness and the ripeness in your own human person. You're never going to be hungry again for anything, or anyone, or any particular way of doing things, etc. You're going to be in such a great harmonious state, especially after this weekend of reintegrating the heart. And then we start introducing the deep emotion, and by the weekend of next week, maybe you'll be ready to receive the fullness of your own presence and understand then the dissolving away of the paradigm and how we're doing it, why we're doing it, and etc., etc. Maybe then you'll be ready for the reunion with the family. Maybe then the event will occur. Or maybe it already has, as some people are thinking. And we're just going through the motions of putting it into place. Because we're right here in the now moment. That's what we got to do. You can create it in the future there. And it just hangs there and waits for you to get to it. And you can go by a billion different little paths. But there's really only one that's pure for you. And part of the integration is learning to see that path and to follow it true. To no longer let your mind mislead you with its ideas of what's in the heart. But to let the heart lead the mind. It has an intelligence all its own. This energy you feel coming up your backbone and out of your chest, up your backbone and into your mind, that is the heart's energy. It's been unleashed inside of you. It's coming nice and gentle now because we're not going to force any changes on you. We've been working so hard this week, guys. I'm so pleased with where we've been, what we've done. It's been gnarly. Gnarly as all get out, you know. But here we are, babies. We're getting it. We're doing it. It's the most beautiful experience we've ever had in many, many lifetimes, babies. We're coming back home to the heart. And those of you who know where home is, recognize the energies here and are ready to receive of your empowerment, get your butts over here, man. Like I said, you're going to have to do some primitive camping because this place just doesn't have the facilities to handle you, and we don't either, at least not yet. Something good's coming our way, I feel that, but until that materializes, we're right here doing what we do, and if you guys show up, you're going to be, at the behest of the universe, and you may have to camp out in one of our fine little campgrounds or out in some of the more primitive areas, because they'll fill up rather rapidly this time of year, especially after the end of May. So we'll get this done before the end of May, so we got room for you out here. I mean, this valley is huge. We could accommodate millions here if we had to. But it would be tricky. We'd have to call in, a whole bunch of extra help to feed and house and, get everybody taken care of. So, but I just expect, maybe there'll be a few thousand show up. Maybe there'll be a few hundred. Maybe there'll be 32 or 21 or 12, something like that. Whatever the number is, it's perfect. And that's what we're doing here for you, with you. Is helping to create this energy field so you can feel the safety and you feel safe enough to withdraw from your earth out there and come here and be with her in her birth. Because this is exactly what we're doing by opening up the doorways, the gateways between the realms. We're reintegrating the mother back in her own way. It's a natural birth. A reemergence from the old paradigm into the blessed, beautiful reality of creative love. The universe that lives together and likes it. Oh, baby, you're getting it right here in the great daylight. Only on the Coyote Medicine Show. Only on the Hazy Radio Network, babies. Old Grandpa Coyote and Mother God here trying to help you stay alive, babies, so that you can really, really thrive as the universe begins to reveal itself in the coming days and the next few weeks. I mean, all of it. The times you have awaited, they are here. They're inside of you, maturing right now. That's why we're doing this personal work this afternoon with the gold energy and the white buffalo energy. Because it's time to realize our purity so we can really, really expand next week. That conscious feeling, oh my goodness, guys. I mean, I've been in there. I've done this. But oh my goodness, what we're moving into now is so much more. We've been incapable before this. We were shut off. Can you imagine? Look how much we've done. Look how loving we could be. Being shut off. So obviously we weren't completely shut off, and obviously as the generations wore on, the controls became less, not more. You know, in most species, most of the species, some it deepened and broadened because that was their control agents, you see. It's kind of, well, we'll go into that story in a longer way sometime, but it basically is that everybody that comes here in one way or another is infected with that energy, you know. But they do so voluntarily and with great happiness in their heart, even though they know it's going to be a rough and ruggedy lifetime. You've done it, babies. You've come through it. You've done exactly what you came here to do, and you have reincarnated yourself in the process as the perfect being that you are. And perfection doesn't mean you don't make mistakes. It just says you don't see them as mistakes anymore. You just make the corrections necessary, learn and grow and move on. You see? That's what perfection means. The ability to live with yourself in creation and be at peace with all of that. So this age of truth, if you allow it, is the age of peace forevermore. And never again shall there be this turmoil or torment that we've experienced in the past. We've fulfilled all of our agreements with all of the beings who invaded us, etc. We had contracts all over the place, so to speak. You know, we don't make contracts in spirit, but we use that terminology because it makes them understandable here on this earth. But when I say contracts, what I'm talking about, there was a pre-dream set in place at a certain moment, at a certain time, in the now moment, but we set it in the future. You know, we set it in the past, and then we set it to on the same exact place in the future. You know, because time is a spiral and goes upwards, blah, blah. I'm not going to explain that right now, but I think you understand what I'm talking about. And that's what we're moving into right now. It was our fail-safe. We made sure that if we could fulfill certain elements, there was no way that we could miss the ascension. We made certain of that. Then the ascension is simply the return of the divine in full conscious presence in each being, energy, power, flower, whatever, that lives. Spreading that consciousness out into the fullness of creation, not just humanity. We're the center heart. We're where it starts, yes. But it spreads from there. In our next few eons of time, which won't be time, because we're out of time, but our next energies, our next great effort is the expansion of this energy, this loving, earth-based, mother love energy to be spread in fulfillment throughout all of creation, which completes us in full wholeness and allows our creation, the rest of our creation, to be feeling, to grow, and we'll do it real gentle and easy with them because it's expansion. You know, and we can control the flow of that. So we'll do it gentle and easy with them, but everybody's getting it everywhere. And it comes in its own time, its own place, and it's just perfect when it does. It's awesome, Possum. And that's why you're here doing it with old Grandpa Coyote and our special guest star, Mother God, here on the Hazy Radio Network with the Coyote Medicine Show, babies. Isn't this just love? Isn't this just rock and roll? Isn't this what your soul wanted to know? Isn't this what your heart's been calling for? Oh, babies. We're here to even the score and even more. We're here to help you find life. Live, breathe, and be who you are. No, babies. Janice Ian here with a song at 17, babies. Right on the Coyote Medicine Show. Where else is it at? HazyRadioNetwork.com, babies. We are the rockin'est network around, and when you dial it in, leave off the network. But it is the Hazy Radio Network, babies, and we are the rock and roll Coyote Medicine Show right here on that Hazy Radio Network. And this is your host, Grandpa Peter Coyote, and our special guest star, Mother God, hanging out here in the Rocky Mountain High, 9,000 feet, babies. Up here we fly all the time. We don't even have to try. We just float around, babies, because that's what's happening in this here town, babies. How about yours? You floating there? I think you are, babies. I think you care. I think you got it. I think you're on. I think everyone here is going to sing their heart song. In fact, I think they already are. Babies, it's happening for you. It's happening for me. It's happening for her. It's happening for all of us, don't you see? The time has finally arrived. The time has finally come when we get our reward for all of these numerous years neath this old sun. Striving and trying and, wrestling in the sweat and, coming up empty when you should have been full all the time. I mean, we've played a game with ourselves. Wild as all get out here, man. And we've just modified the game greatly since Mother God and I's energies began reuniting. You see, we've been secretly hidden away even from ourselves, as we go through our lives, influencing and being what we are. I recently seen, these movies about how God would come down and become a human, because he liked doing it, so he'd come and be a golfer, in this one movie or something else in another, and inevitably he'd always get lost, and the angels have come find him, round him up, pull him back out. That is so close. That is so real, man. You just wouldn't believe it, I don't believe it. I can't. I just live what I am and be what I are and make no claims about it. I just do it because it's here within me and it's coming forward. And what else can I do but be the glowing, loving person I've been created to be? That's me. That's my reality. That's my history. That dude that stumbled his way through life like Mr. Magoo and had a great time doing it, always in the company of some very fine feminine ladies, I'll tell you. And let me tell you something, too, about, that little song, 17. Poor old Janice Ian, kind of feeling sorry, but coming through real clean. Oh, what a transformation that was for her. She wrote that song at 15 years old. Do you think she's ancient and wise? Yeah, I'd say so. Besides being an angel that can sing her heart out. She's still around. She's on Facebook, guys, So if you want to connect with her, go over there and chat at her. See what she's up to, Janice Ian, she didn't have a great big top 40 career. But she did always and consistently put forward music that came right from her heart and sang it the same way. That's a gift, babies. That's an angelic gift to the universe. The music that we play here, it seems so simple sometimes, well, maybe complex, but it just seems like, 3 minutes and away we go to the next one, These are experiencing moments of the divine. When you listen to it with a little deeper ear, like the heart, the ears of the heart, then you begin to appreciate the angelic dynamics in it. I know the music industry is filled with darkness, and there's more rip-offs than you can imagine, It's just craziness, and you have to sell your soul in order to be a part of it. It's just the way it works, You don't really literally go sign on the contract, on the line and all that, but you really do. You compromise yourself to the extent so you can get in and be the famous person that you are and share the beauty of your truth through the words and sounds of your music, you see. So it's a very difficult task for angels, especially fresh angels, because they're real sensitive, even in human form. They can't take too much. That's why many of them expire early. They come share the energy that they're here to share, and then they're gone. And that's the deal, and they love it, you see. And now we're beginning, and this is why old Coyote had to have a rock and roll medicine show and not just a talk show. Because the music is the very key part of it. It's the revelation of the divine, given in simple words and attitudes. Attitudes that are gratitudes inside of a funny little love song that says, ooh, I poured my heart out for you and you didn't know what to do, so I'm leaving you. Or some silly thing like that. The words aren't as important as the music itself and the beings that are performing it. The recognition of what we really have here is all a part of the plan. And as you begin to see that now, the divine side of the music industry as a whole, well, guess what? We're softening up their heart right now just by looking at them that way and knowing what they really are. It will change drastically. Music will be offered freely. And nobody's got to live in a mansion, because we all do. If you want a mansion, why not have two? Shoot, if that's what you want to do. And you can do them without consuming one tiny bit of resource, so you don't need millions of dollars. Dollars are useless anyway. Everybody knows that. So's the yen, though. All of it's done. It's history, baby. We've been buying and selling ourselves, been killing each other over money for what? How? No, babies. The millions are in your heart. The untold wealth of the universe at your disposal. And you don't have to go out and be a miner with a pick and shovel to get it, or a farmer with a plow. None of that stuff applies any longer. And you'll see this as we move into the deeper emotions next week on the Coyote Medicine Show, and learn how creative we really are and how that creation works within us. See, we're creating every divine moment in which we live, but usually at a sub-psychological level. In other words, we're not conscious of it. But we're actively participating in this life with all the life that surrounds us. We're one singular unit. You're not just a body and soul complex. You're also the rest of the life that lives there with you. You're all of it. Extended in there with love. Coming from that with love. Bound together for the betterment of all with love. That's how life works. You're never alone. You're always united with this creation and all aspects of it. And you're always moving in a forward direction. That's the flow that I'm always talking about. That's what it does when you get in the glow and you start to feel the flow, and you just follow those feelings. You be what those feelings instruct you to be. You go where the feelings tell you to go. You follow your heart, in other words. See, and I'm a living example of it. I do this to the greatest extent possible, still considering my humanness. I do this. I follow my heart in every situation. And sometimes I feel like I'm severely misled, or at least in the past. I don't feel so now, but in the past sometimes I feel severely misled. But every time I've been misled, I've been redirected. I mean, it was perfect. Whatever had to happen did. Wasn't always easy. Never is. But it's beautiful. And again, those connections with people that we make in that way are there for very definitive purposes. This is where the universe is putting itself back together. So you might have to experience some unholy moments in order to become whole. You might have to be with a partner that's very cantankerous and whose energy just doesn't grok with you. But it'd only be for a while. And babies, there's reasons for it every time it happens. There's redemption in every move we make with one another. In this lifetime, each love affair, each personal friend connection, and so on, has been there as a part of this process. It's all bringing ourselves back into the state of being wholeness, where we see and live in the divine moment forever. As the life that we are, the beautiful aspect of creation that displays itself as you. So there are no ugly duckins. Duckins. And there are no ugly ducklings either. We're all beautiful, babies, no matter how we appear on the outside. There's excellence in every one of these experiences that you're having. Rich excellence, you know. You create yourself with an outer image to test the world's response to you and your response to that response. You understand? You see how that goes? That's part of your existence, you know. So we'll create ourselves as beautiful in one time and uglier than hell in the next. And stay humble in both, and just to see what happens. Just to test our aspects, the aspects of humanity, the heart. You know, here we are in these dumbed down states. What we going to do with that? What we going to do with this? Dumb. I don't know. Yet somehow we got through it. We got through it because we found the flow. That's what we share here on the Coyote Medicine Show and all over the place. Everywhere else, the flow is within you. And everywhere you go, you're guided. Whether you're conscious of it or not doesn't really appear to matter. Whatever the heart wants you to do, you're doing it, you know. And you've chosen this experience. You dreamt it into being before you stepped into it. That's where feelings of deja vu come from. What an awesome life we're living, babies. What a beautiful heart. I think next week, you know, as a part of the development of the divine emotion, we'll tell our story, too. We've been doing it anyway with White Buffalo Rising and the Atomic Bum, these books that we're working. Well, I got the Atomic Bum's published book. You can get it on Kindle, or you can get it through a regular press. Mostly I sell them on Amazon, but they're all over the place. You know, they're Barnes & Noble everywhere. It's called the Atomic Bum, B-U-M, you know, which means like a hobo or your backside, the thing you sit on, one of those two. It's written by a gentleman named Coyote Bear, which is my altered presence, you know. That's me standing there naked in the wind, you know, talking about the very things I'm talking about now, how we got there, what happened, the significance of events and turn of events that allowed us to get to this ascendant space. It's told also as a personal story, and it traces the ancestry a bit it traces in the entire history of humanity in the process. And what's written in that book is the very thing happening now. Babies, we're getting there. Grandpa and Mother God have the resolution for humanity. And of course that means that resolution is resolving itself in you right now. See? Recognition is all it takes. You recognize it, you honor it, it becomes you. See, that's another thing in life that really we've been taught to ignore. This is where all the rudeness towards others comes from. You want to deny the reality of truth in people you find unpleasant. For whatever the reason, it might just be some stupid little programming thing that got stuck in you because you got hurt one time and busted a roller skate key and somebody stole it from you and you hate people that steal. Some silly thing like that. But there they are. But as they become revealed to you, they just dissolve away. Nature of our love now, because you are participating in this divine love. What's in me is in you. The full presence of this consciousness. In her too, all of us. She is the divine mother of love. She is the source of all love and life. She is your heart, your soul, your experience, and everything that you be in the same way that a divine parent would be. Yet she's chosen to live this experience with you as a part of her experience. To allow herself to be created as a lesser so that she could know the further. But she did it mainly out of compassion for you guys, because neither one of us were ever required to do such a thing, ever. There is no requirement in the heart. We were created in divine love. We were allowed to get to our ascendant states rather rapidly. And then we were free. We could do what we want. But, we're not selfish. We're not interested in selfishness, because we're not empty. We're always full. We're always filled with light and love. And that's what we want to be, she and I. So that's what we are. And that's what we shine on you here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network, and across the planet in other ways as well. You're beginning to see and experience visible demonstrations of the amazing power of the heart. And this will continue. There are many divine miracles in motion right now. You won't believe what you see, and you better not. Just let it be. What you see is real enough if you interpret it right. If you've got your eyes open, your ears open, your heart open, which does open the eyes and ears and so forth, and allows you to really know what's happening. That's part of the divine revelation too. So when you're seeing things in the sky or things in your life that are tremendously unusual, just know who's loving you and helping you make it happen. Your divine parents. That you personified as human beings and brought to live amongst you. What a great idea. And what a great success. Because I tell you, the odds were against us, but there we are. We made it. We got it. The needle in the haystack thing doesn't apply, man. It was worse than that. 1 in 10 billion. Can you imagine? Well, say 7.5 billion. That's what they say here. They ain't counting right. It's 10 billion. Easy. Easy 10 billion. That's the number, baby. Because that's what it took to get this just right. You had to have 10 billion souls to create the energy field that will allow us. I mean, you would not believe the synchronicity, the divine engineering that's gone into these moments we're living. Yet you become conscious of these machinations as we live in them. These designs, this eternal design, the divine plan, more or less, the one that a lot of religions have tried to personify in some pretty crude modes, but never could get it right. Well, that's all right. At least you kept the idea alive, and that's okay. You served your function. You did well, though you were pretty criminal about it. But then again, that's the nature of this earth, or has been. It is no more. That nature of experience, that experiment with the human psyche, with the human heart, is over now. Tested her to the max and then some. And here we are. We're alive, kicking, and more than that, we're coming back to life. And we will never again taste death. We're collapsing the illusions in which we live, more like dissolving, I should say. Some of them collapse rather rapidly, but they dissolve away. So don't be into the economic woes, too worried about that stuff. Who cares? Let them be what they are. We send divine gentleness to the people involved, the players involved here, so that it works out rather nicely. The greedy ones have lost their grip. They're out of business. They know that. They knew that the moment they felt us unite and touch hands and look in each other's eyes. They knew their day was over. Because she and I would never be together. And I'm telling you, it is that significant here. Yet we're just two people, two ships colliding in the darkness. I'm going to become one ship pretty soon, baby. Oh, darlings, it's been a beautiful week. It's been a beautiful ride this week, and I just cannot thank you enough. As Grandpa Coyote, I just can't thank you enough for being here in my heart and being here on this medicine show and letting this love spread all across this earth. We got listeners everywhere now, in countries all over the place, and it's growing, 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 as it should. It's time. It's natural. And I really, really appreciate Hazy Radio Network providing this worldwide platform for us so that we could reach the others who needed to see and wake up and come clear. Babies, I can't thank you enough. You're beautiful. And guys, support the other programming on here. I'm not as familiar with it as I should be, but you know me. I've got a lot on my plate. I can only do so much. And I don't memorize well. In fact, I don't do that at all. Everything comes out of me is pretty much based in some kind of spontaneity, one way or the other. That's just who I am. I don't like to be, I never liked the idea of programming in the first place. It was with a grudge, or grit in my teeth, I should say, that I ever stepped into such a place as a person, as me, Grandpa Coyote or whatever else I might be. I really didn't want to be in that stuff yet. I knew we had to do it. I knew the gig was up, and there we are. I just went and did what we had to do and lived it right there, right alongside of you, and that's how we got through, babies. And thanks for treating me so good, all of you kind and gentle people that have encountered me in these lifetimes that I've lived. I have been treated so graciously here so often that I hardly notice any rudeness anyone ever heaped upon me. I've purified that view, man. I've let go of that stuff. There are some people here in town I really don't want to see for a while because they were pretty unkind. But, they're suffering for it. I don't have to worry about it. I don't want them to suffer. I want them to get better. So if you have an encounter with me like that, then, kind of goes in a dark way, it's still the same kind of thing. You're still there for healing, and I'm still there giving it to you. That's the way we designed ourselves. We'll trick ourselves into it all the time. Pay attention this weekend. You'll see what old Grandpa talks about here so often is your reality. It's going to be real visible to you this weekend, and it's going to help you integrate these energies inside. Get the harmony going on. Get the divine equity in place, babies, and you're rocking. Your eyes are open. Your ears will hear. Then you can begin to experience a whole lot more of what's here, what's really and truthfully here. You're going to be amazed, baby, but you're also going to be reassured because inside you're going to say, I knew it. I knew it. Gosh, I knew it. That's what you're going to be saying all weekend long. Okay, babies, let's rock and roll a little more here in the Coyote Medicine Show. Got old Joan Baez standing over here in the wings, and she's got something she wants to tell us about living down south and what a beautiful thing that is, unless you happen to be in the middle of a war. It's kind of written as a war protest song, but also as a tribute to the great South, her homeland, her heartland, from which, a lot of really gentle and noble souls have come forward from down there, that it's really a ruggedy place. But, in the U.S., it's probably some of the friendliest country, though. With the changes of the ages, hoo-hoo. Well, anyway, the night they drove old Dixie down, Joan Baez, a classic if ever there was one. Babies, you're listening to the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. Your ticket to flight, yes, in a great day life. Glenn Campbell, ladies and gentlemen, reincarnating another ancient classic. By the time I get to Phoenix, she'll be rising. What a sad and sorry little love song. But when that first came out, it so touched everybody's heart. Because everybody had been in such places, or at least thought about it, and it gave them something to relate to, and actually probably saved a bunch of relationships, really probably helped them come back together more than it helped split them up. It's a universal message, and in kind of a metaphorical way, it kind of shows Mother God and I's journey. You know, how I'd gone away from her for a long, long time, or she'd gone away from me. You know, it's kind of hard to tell who went away from what, but we did for a long, long time. And we knew we'd have to. And we knew we'd have to go through all of this process if we stepped in this direction. And we didn't even think about it. We just did it. You know, just stepped right in with you, babies. Because we couldn't let you be here doing it alone. Now that ain't right. Then you really would know what alone was, and that wouldn't be right. Because you're never alone. Ever. Always you have life with you, in support of you, always. So hopefully you will see that in your own life as you go through this weekend of clearing and connecting with both sides of your heart and getting yourself back to fullness and wholeness. And I'm going to see you again Sunday night at midnight, live here on the Hazy Radio Network with my special guest star, Mother God. And we're going to rock your soul, babies. And next week, we're going there, babies. We are headed for the event. The event. The one and only event, the one that changes everything. It's the introduction to your spirit star family, you darn right. And a whole bunch of others right along with them. There's fleets in the waiting. You won't believe what happens next, yet you will, because your heart's being softened now, and you're getting ready. Next week it's happening, babies, you know, by the weekend, I think. Now, there's no guarantees, because time will change. But that's what I'm seeing right now. I'd say by next Saturday or Friday, we're there. You know, may even have it live here on the Coyote Medicine Show. Who knows? We're not screwing around, folks. We're getting right to it. The rubber hit the road, and babies, we're hauling you know what. Yeah, right here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. Babies, thanks for tuning in. We just cannot thank you enough. And babies, here's a little song that'll help you grow really strong and, you know, get some real wind under your wings so you can get through the weekend, babies. Keep that little golden glow there. Keep the equity going, babies, inside of your heart, inside of your chest. Let it happen, babies. It's coming. And we'll give it our best this weekend, and we'll see you Sunday night at midnight. Now, don't forget, there is a Coyote Medicine Show tonight at midnight and Saturday night at midnight, because we run a repeat performance there, okay? So, babies, we'll catch you Sunday night. Papa loves you, and babies, spread those wings. I love those things. Yeah.